Episode title, Europe's Carbon Conundrum, Balancing Green Goals with Competitiveness Fears. Intro music, Midnight to 0:30. Host, welcome to Sustainable Insights, the podcast where we delve into the latest developments in environmental policy and sustainability. I'm your host, Naim, and today we're discussing a crucial issue that's been making headlines in Europe, the easing of carbon pricing. Joining me is, guest's name, an expert in environmental economics. Welcome to the show. Segment 1, Introduction and Context, 0:30 to 5 o'clock. Host, Europe has been at the forefront of the global effort to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. However, it seems that the region's green goals are running into fears about competitiveness. The European Union's carbon pricing mechanism, the Emissions Trading System, or ETS, has been in place since 2005. But with rising energy costs and concerns about the impact on industries, there's growing pressure to ease the system. Guest's name, can you tell us more about the current state of carbon pricing in Europe? Guest, yes, of course. The ETS is a cap-and-trade system that sets a limit on the amount of greenhouse gases that can be emitted by certain industries. But with the current energy crisis and rising costs, there's a growing concern that the system is putting European industries at a disadvantage compared to their global competitors. As a result, there's a push to reform the system and potentially reduce the carbon price. Segment 2, Competitiveness Fears and Potential Consequences, 5 to 10 o'clock. Host, that's a valid concern. If European industries are subject to stricter carbon pricing than their competitors in other regions, it could lead to a loss of competitiveness and even job losses. What are the potential consequences of easing carbon pricing in Europe, and how might it impact the region's green goals? Guest, easing carbon pricing could lead to increased emissions and undermine the EU's climate targets. It could also create a perception that Europe is backing away from its commitment to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. On the other hand, it could provide some relief to industries that are struggling with high energy costs. However, it's essential to find a balance between competitiveness and environmental protection. Conclusion and final thoughts, 10 to 12 o'clock. Host, thank you, guest's name, for sharing your insights with us today. It's clear that Europe's carbon pricing conundrum is a complex issue with no easy solutions. As the EU continues to navigate this challenge, it's essential to prioritize both competitiveness and environmental protection. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in this space and exploring more topics related to sustainability and environmental policy in future episodes. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Sustainable Insights. Outro music, 12 to 12:30.